So, as I was saying, those pills that she went to go get from the doctor made her even more sick. Her health deteriorated a lot, I mean, she started getting deaf. Like, she started not hearing properly, not deaf, but she started not hearing properly. So I had to repeat stuff to her, and then also her eyesight, like she couldn't see, like she could see, but her vision was like really really blurry, basically, and so those were the things that I was really worried about, and even her breathing was very dodgy, and so I looked at it, like I observed everything, but because me and her at that time were not really getting along, I did not say much to her, because I also didn't want her I didn't want to fight with her when because of her illness, and I also had a baby, and I didn't want my baby to be affected of anything negative. So it was a whole lot, guys. Okay. I remember her coming to where I was seated at. I remember my child was asleep right in the room, and then I was watching something on TV. She came from her room. She came to come to the front to come and like sit next to me. She needed something to be fixed on the phone, and so she told me. Then I just fixed it for her, and then after that like she apologized, and she said, uxolo for izinto ezininzi. She didn't go into specifics, but guys, when someone apologizes, like, even though they don't go into specifics, but you know what they're trying to apologize for, right? So that was the thing, ne? And then and then she said a whole lot, and she said ndiyakwazi uyandithanda, and I can't remember what else she said, but I listened to everything, guys, and I was so hurt, I really really was so hurt with things that she said, not when she was apologizing, but the things that she had done to me, while I was the one who was always there for her 24/7 during her sickness. And even before her sickness, I was always vouching for my grandmother, being there 24/7 for her, because I loved her like she was my own mother, and so most times I just felt so betrayed by her, by just doing so many things to me. Anyways, she got me, sad at that moment when she was apologizing. Then she left and she went back to her room, and then it was like 2 days after, or a day after. I remember the day before, right? It was 2 days after. In the morning, I went into her room because it was just so quiet, right? I went into her room, and then I saw her on a chair, right? And in that chair, she was sort of like half naked. I think maybe she was feeling hot. Maybe she had hot flashes or something. Then she decided to just take off her nightgown that she was wearing. And she was just seated like someone who was just like helpless, like weak, and when I was just like, I think I was holding the baby. No, the baby was still in bed in the morning, ne? I just went quickly into her room just to find out if she's still okay, my grandmother, to see her on the chair. And then, like, I was just calling out her name because her eyes were closed, and I was a bit shocked, So I was just calling out her name, like, very loud, And then she couldn't respond with her mouth, but the way she responded was she contracted her stomach muscles in order to respond to me. I called out her. I called out her name like 3 times, right? And she responded by contracting her stomach muscles, right? And then, like, I did not know what to do. I did not think anything of it. What I did was I called the father of my child, during that time they were here, right? It was his parents, the father of my child's parents, his sister and him. They were here, right? But they were staying like at an Airbnb, right? And then I just told him to come quickly because I don't know what's going on with my grandmother. So he came and he saw what was happening with her, right? He came with the sister, in fact. The sister is older than him, right? So that's the elder sister. They came and they just assessed her, right? And he took her and he laid her like on the floor, on the carpet floor, right? And then he tried to do like those, what are those things when you are pressing on her heart just to revive her, you know? That is what she was doing, but nothing was happening, right? And like after that, my grandmother passed away. I think though she had already passed away before they got here, because I remember her neck sort of like not fell, but like turned like went down basically, after I was there, like 3 minutes after I was there, it just went down like that. Yeah, and I could feel the coldness of her skin as well. She was very, very cold, and then after that, that is when I called the father of my child, right, to come and help me out, because like I did not know what was happening. So at that time, I think I was still shocked and I did not know if she was gone, right? Like to me, when they came, when the father of the child and the sister came, to me she was still alive in my head. As much as she was gone, right, to me she was still alive, and I thought that maybe they could do something, maybe revive her to have like a nice working pulse, but that was not the case. And then the paramedics came and they said that she had passed away. Okay, so my grandmother passed away like that. Okay, and in my head, I knew that she had already passed away, simply because of my experience being with her in the room alone and calling out her name. Like also like just the coldness of her skin as well, after calling out her name, and also the fact that I felt like when I was holding her, I felt like her last breath. I felt like, but I was in denial. I still felt like she was still alive. Maybe it was shock. Okay. So that was that. She was confirmed as, dead, and my grand passed away. And I was at peace. I don't want to lie. I thought I would, although it was very sad, but seeing her dying so peacefully, to me, I was at peace with that, at the same time, and I felt okay for some reason. And I really, really thought I was going to, I don't know, like bawl out crying and, damaged basically, because my mother has just passed away, and yeah. And okay, so after that, when I called the paramedics, right, I called them, and then after that, I then called my uncle and I told my uncle what was happening. He asked me some stuff, and then I said, no, the paramedics are also coming to come and just see if she's really dead or not, right? And then they came and then they confirmed her that she had passed away. I then called my uncle again just to let him know what was happening, right? And yeah, he then came, I think it was the next day. Yeah, so that we could now just get ready to, mourn her and also arrange for the funeral as well. The aunt came the very same day, right? Because she stays in the same city, PE, but my uncle stays in Pretoria. Guys, I will leave it here. I'll be doing a part 7 or part 8 as soon as possible. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.